Waiting for others to join, guys, and then we'll start. 2 minutes. Let's go. Waiting for 1 more minute, and then we'll start. Okay, guys, let's start. I guess it's already 6 minutes. We waited. I'm not sure if others are joining, so we'll start. Sorry about the muffled voice. I'm suffering from mouth ulcer. So let's start. Today we'll be discussing load balancer. Load balancer, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it or not, so I'll start from basic. Anyone who is already aware of it, let me know. If you know anything about it, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know before we go to the next topic. So let's start with the load balancer. Very first thing when it comes to load balancer, an interviewer might ask you, sorry about the mispronunciations also, guys. As I told you, I'm suffering from mouth ulcer. It is difficult for me to speak for a long time. Okay, so load balancers, when it comes to load balancers, an interviewer will definitely ask you very first question before he or she gets into technicality. They will ask you, do you know about anything about load balancer, or what is a load balancer? So you should at least know uh, a, a definition of a load balancer. Okay, now load balancer is a technique, and it is also a service, so don't get confused. When I say load balancer, all these four are load balancers. As a technique, these are load balancers. This load balancer is a service, और service का नाम ही है load balancer. So this is also a load balancer, this is also a load balancer, this is also a load balancer, and ये load balancer जो है ये भी अपने आप में एक load balancer ही है. Okay, and this is a must ask question. Difference पूछ ही लेते हैं maybe between traffic manager and front door, or application gateway and traffic manager, or load balancer and application gateway. किसी भी तरह का combination बना के ये question पक्का आता ही है. Okay, so very first thing you should know the definition. So what is a load balancer, or what are load balancer? An Azure load balancer is a layer 4 TCP UDP load balancer. that provides HA by distributing incoming traffic among healthy VMs. Now, what is HA? It's high availability. We have discussed this many times. So what does it do? A load balancer is a layer 4 load balancer. Now it is specifically talking about this one. This is layer 4. Okay. When it comes to application gateway, it is layer 7. Traffic manager comes to layer 7. When it comes to front door, in fact, all of them are layer 7. It's only the load balancer, which is layer 4. So it is specifically talking about a load balancer. So that provides high availability by distributing incoming traffic among healthy VMs. This we will see on Paint, how it works actually. You can launch application on multiple servers. Load balancer is the virtual face for those servers, which is with its own IP. Load balancers work with auto scaling, VM scale set. We can specify a threshold like CPU, memory, or on an average basis. If you're not getting it, guys, it's okay. We are going to understand line by line. As of now, I'm just reading it. Okay. Uh, Basis on servers in load balancer, then it launches a load balancer, include a new server too while distributing traffic. So you can go through this. Then when it comes to application gateway, you can read this. Definition, I'm not going to teach you because you have to remember them. If you can't explain it well, at least remember them. Okay. What we do in these sessions, we do understanding. I will explain this to you. उसको मैं अच्छे से खोलकर explain करके बताऊंगा आप लोगों को, and we'll do a practical. So let's move to the paint first. And before I start with this one, before I start explaining this, first we'll have to scratch our brain and discuss few old topics. So before I move here, let me ask you something. What we have been discussing, I think Amit, Yogesh, and Akib bhai, you all were there, so you guys can should be able to answer. You there, right, Yogesh bhai? Are you there today? I saw him joining. Yes, Yogesh
Yes,
bhai is there.
yes, yes.
Even Sanmitra, you were also there when we covered these topics. So, guys, tell me what is an availability zone? Who can explain? One of you.
uh, an Azure region which has two or more data centers. It's known as availability zone.
Okay. Why would I use that?
For high availability,
Could you explain? I mean, how will it work? Could you guide me to draw a high availability or availability zone on this paint? Or you can take access and you can draw if you want.
how is it? I mean, it is used when like if there's any climatic what you can say a disaster
No,
in
don't,
that. Mhm.
drawing diagram. I'm talking about the design. Can you help me to design it? How do I design it here on paint? Let's say that you have to explain it to someone, to your client who doesn't understand well things. So what all things would you require to explain it here? Let me make it easier for you. Maybe I'm not portraying the question properly. So let's say that this is my Azure virtual machine. Okay, let's say this is my Azure virtual machine. This virtual machine has my IIS server. IIS server means what do you understand by IIS server, guys?
Uh, Hosting websites,
Yes, a web servers in simple name.
a web server. Yeah.
It is a Windows VM we are considering, hence IIS. Linux का होता तो Apache Tomcat कुछ और हो सकता था. इसके ऊपर let's say मेरी एक एप्लीकेशन है Tsoft Info Solution. ओके, tsoftinfosolution.com की वेबसाइट है जिसपे आप जाकर मेरे कोर्सेज देख सकते हो एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. एग्जाम्पल, आई डू नॉट हैव दिस. tsoft.com is not mine, किसी और की है. And ignore the spelling mistake also. Okay, so let's say that we have this website. This is on this VM. Is this a highly available infrastructure?
No,
How do I make it a highly available with respect to Azure? Not talking about on-premises वगैरह.
you can have another VM.
Okay.
Also, there's another web server.
So you are saying I can have another VM here, right? So let's say that this is my server 1 and this is in East US. You're saying with the same configuration, everything, you want me to have another server, okay?
Yeah.
Server 2. Where do you want me to host it?
Same geographical region.
Okay. Region is obviously same. These
Yeah.
the geography and region are two different things. Is to
Yes.
not use them in one word, right? Obviously same geography. Or are you saying region same?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously region has to same. Others can also answer. It's
Same.
not
Yeah.
only for Yogesh. Anyone can answer. I guess Akeem is answering or anyone. All can answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is availability zone 1. So where do you want this machine to go?
Zone 2.
Availability zone 2.
That should be
Oh.
zone 2. Yeah.
Okay. Now, irrespective, though we do not use public IPs, but this is a web server. Let's say we are using a public IP, or it's an internal one. Forget public or private IP. It doesn't matter. But I have two machines. Okay. Here also I have my IIS server and same website I have here. Ignore the spelling mistakes and everything else, please. So this is what I have. Is this highly available service now?
Yes.
Okay. How is it highly available? Could you explain? I mean, why do you think it is highly available?
It's not actually. It has to be the same server replicated on other zones as well.
Okay, let's say there is some replication also. Though it's not your job though, still you have done it and there is some replication. What about now? Is it highly available?
Yes, it is.
Anyone thinks it isn't? These are your users, okay? Now these are two servers. How many IPs these two servers have? Irrespective public or private, doesn't matter. Answer will be the same. How many IPs these two servers will have? Minimum. Maximum one server can have 5 IPs. तो वो आंसर तो हम कंसिडर नहीं कर रहे. मिनिमम कितने आईपीस हो गए दो सर्वर है तो?
2.
दो, right?
Do.
Why is so confusing, guys? You cannot have a server without IP. I mean, what's the use of that? Okay, I'm just basically randomly taking any IP, so do not quote on IPs and classes, everything. Okay, 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2. Though this is also correct range, but still, are you guys following me till here?
Yes.
Though these servers are
Yes.
syncing, data is syncing with each other, everything is fine. Two servers now. These which IP address am I sharing with these people? These are my users. Which IP address am I sharing with them? You want me to share both of them? And this is very small example. Let's say we have 3 zones, 3 servers. Do you expect me to share 3 server IPs? And let's say even if I share both of them, okay? Someone is in middle of a session. He has my IP address, which is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. These people have 2. Okay, 2. For people having IP address 10.0.0.1, how is it highly available for them? Though I have 2 servers, data is syncing and everything, they're connected to this, because they have only this IP, this goes down. How is it highly available? For these people, they have only this IP. They're using it, this goes down. How is it highly available? Let's say even if these people have both of them IPs, he's in the middle of something. He is connected to that, he's in the middle of something, connection chala jata. What do you expect him to go to browser and then again connect to this? If that is the case, is it highly available by any chance? Can you call it highly available if I have to do that manually?
No.
So are you guys getting it?
Yeah.
So your availability zone and your availability set. I hope you guys remember what is an availability set, right?
Yes.
So your availability zone and your availability set, when it is in isolation, it is useless for you. For one application, even if you have 3 servers, it is useless for you because those are not working together. ठीक है, ये डाउन हो जाने के बाद आपके पास बैकअप में सर्वर है, बट सारे कनेक्शंस आपको यहाँ पर मूव करने पड़ेंगे. So is it going to help you? No. So what do you expect here? And it applies same, be it for your availability zone or availability set. बहुत minor difference है. If you have forgotten, go back and watch the availability set वाला video. बाकी सारा मेथड सेम है. अवेलेबिलिटी जोन में बस ऐसा है कि अलग अलग जोन में आपको 3 सर्वर्स मिल रहे हैं. अवेलेबिलिटी सेट में एक ही जोन में आपको 3 सर्वर्स अलग अलग मिल रहे हैं. And forget about availability zone and availability set. Even if I don't have an availability set and I don't have an availability zone, in one zone itself, if I want to have 5 servers for one application, I can have that. Okay, no one is stopping me. Azure is not stopping me. Let's say that I am doing everything in availability zone 1, or forget availability zone है ही नहीं. Suppose इस region में there is no availability zone. East US में 2 East US में है, but just to give you an example, let's say there is no availability zone and I have 5 servers. 5 different servers will have 5 different IPs. Is it helping me?
No.
No, right?
If
The scenario
if
is
we
same.
apply DNS as well, still same, right? एक सब पे अगर हमने common DNS still.
DNS अप्लाई करो तो that is fine. DNS आप लोग अप्लाई करो, but DNS में भी जो है इस तरह की राउटिंग नहीं होगी. ठीक है? How DNS works?
It will convert IP into
So it will convert the name to IP, right?
Yes.
Let's say that I've given you my name to all of these users. Obviously, I'm not giving IPs. I was expecting कि चलो मैं नाम ही दूंगा. मैंने नाम दिया है. इसके पीछे मैंने 2 IPs लगा रखे. Okay, all of these they have Tsoft. Okay, और इसके पीछे मैंने क्लियर होने के लिए 2 IPs लगा रखे कि anyone who types Tsoft, that person should get redirected to either 1 or 2. ठीक है, यहाँ तक you are correct. But 1 is down. 1 is down. DNS doesn't have the capability to understand whether the server is down or not. DNS will simply resolve the name. That's all DNS does. उसके अलावा DNS का कोई काम नहीं है. For example, ping में भी DNS काम करता है. Okay, if I ping google.com, see, if I ping google.com, it is resolving it to an IP address. Okay, it is resolving to an IP. It is IP v6 version 6 है, इसलिए इस तरह से दिख रहा है. But the moment I ping something, it is resolving. तो यहाँ पर DNS काम कर रहा है. If I ping to any website which is down, now I don't have any publicly website which is down, उसका कोई इस तरह का example नहीं है. Okay, इसका host name मैंने कर नहीं रखा है. Otherwise what will happen, it will still resolve the query. आपको reply नहीं मिलेगा, but it will still resolve the query. Are you guys getting it? कि DNS अगर आप यहाँ पर लगाओगे ना, तो it will still redirect it here. DNS doesn't have the capability to understand कि जहाँ पर redirect हो रहा है वो सर्वर अप है या डाउन है, या उस पे ऑलरेडी 10,000 रिक्वेस्ट है और ये पूरा खाली पड़ा है. DNS doesn't have that capability. So it is still not highly available. Because if you use this one, आपके सारे रिक्वेस्ट उस सर्वर्स पे भी जा सकते हैं जो डाउन है. Let's say if these are 20 people, इस 20 में से 8 भी यहाँ पर चले गए, and they will think कि यार ये वेबसाइट तो डाउन है, let me go to some other website and I'll purchase or I'll book my session from them, and you are losing your business. Are you getting it?
Yes.
All of you? Yogesh bhai?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, bhai. Mohammed, it's fine if you're not getting it
Yeah,
because
understood.
we have discussed all these things in previous sessions. Okay,
Yeah,
but
I
if you are
have
coming
basic
from
idea.
infrastructure, yes, yeah, then you should understand. We are still discussing on basics. Sanmitra?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I hope Amit, you are also getting it. Okay. So to avoid this situation or to conquer this, Azure has load balancer. Now, what load balancer does is load balancer, we will deploy the load balancer somewhere here. Your load balancer will have two faces. Okay. One of this face of the load balancer will have your public IP. Normally website है तो public IP होता ही है, ठीक है? If it is an internal one, that is a different thing. Public IP and with public IP obviously a DNS record. एक DNS record होगा, वो DNS record इसी public IP को ही जो है ये कर रहा है, बस यहीं तक वो redirect कर रहा है. So any request which comes to Tsoft, it will go to this public IP. Simple. कहीं से भी कोई भी request आ जाए Tsoft, this will go to this public IP, no matter where it is coming from. Now this load balancer has that feature that this load balancer in the background knows कितने PC है, उसमें से चालू कितने हैं. That depends on your criteria. What criteria have you set? While setting up the load balancer, if you have set up a criteria, ये 50% से ऊपर अगर मेरा मेमोरी यूसेज चला जाता है या CPU यूसेज चला जाता है, तो उसके बाद रिक्वेस्ट कहीं और जानी चाहिए. Then those requests will start going to some other server here. Or if you have selected के randomly जानी चाहिए यहाँ पर, यहाँ पर, यहाँ पर, यहाँ पर, so it will do that. But randomly में भी क्या करेगा ना? If this server is down, then your load balancer is not sending it randomly. Okay, now we are saying only two servers. Let's say there are multiple servers. Let's say there are 3 zones and multiple servers. So load balancer knows, I mean, we have to configure that, but load balancer knows कि कौन से सर्वर की हेल्थ डाउन है, which server is not up. तो वो उस सर्वर पे कोई रिक्वेस्ट भेज ही नहीं रहा है. Meanwhile, when this server is down, you can work on this. ये सब कर सकते हो. इसमें फिर से उस सर्वर को आप अटैच भी कर सकते हो. लोड बैलेंसर में इस तरह का भी फीचर है. Now the big billion day sale is coming. Okay, I'll explain the VMSs first, and then I'll explain it with conjunction of load balancer. First thing, did you guys understand this load balancer? Any questions before we move ahead?
Clear.
Okay. Now I'll go to the portal and I'll show it to you guys. There is one service called VMSs. Let me open this. These are the basic virtual machines which I have been creating. Single virtual machines. You can have 1 or 2 or 3 virtual machines in different zones or without any zone. But there's one more service, which is VMSs, virtual machine scale set. So let's discuss about virtual machine scale set first. And they might ask you VMSs. So keep this in your mind when they're talking about VMSs. It's nothing but virtual machine scale set. Most of the time interviewer will tell you VMSs. VM scale set. Okay. Or it is also known as auto scaling. So we can specify a threshold, example CPU usage, memory usage, etc. On the basis of that threshold, new machines gets created. So let me click on here first, click on this one first. Simultaneously, I'll explain it to you. I'm selecting my subscription. Amit, you do not have any resources in your group, right?
No.
Selecting a resource group. I do not want this. This I will explain later, or you can read it and you can it's self-explanatory. When it is optimized, uniform is optimized, you will get the exact sorry, exact configuration of your machine. Flexible, you can change them, but we always go with uniform, at least in production environment. Security type, we have discussed this, so we're not discussing that here. Image, you all of you know what is it. Sorry, I'm going with this. Username. Is if you are getting confused, please let me know. But we'll have to understand all these topics together, then only you will understand it well. In isolation, your Azure availability zone is not useful, because unless you have the load balancer, without the background machine, backend machines, your load balancer doesn't make any sense. पीछे अगर इसके एक ही machine है तो load balancer आप लगाओ या नहीं लगाओ doesn't matter. Okay. And how VMSS is in picture, we are discussing that. So this is, I'm not explaining this because we have created many virtual machines. Only the change which is there for VMSS, I'll discuss that. We have discussed VNet and subnet, everything. Okay. Now it is talking about this one. You have you will observe a new tab while creating a virtual machine. You will not see this tab, but while creating a virtual machine scale set, you will see this tab. So what does it say? The initial instance count. मतलब the moment I click on here review and create, initially कितने बनने चाहिए? So I'm saying कि initially 2 बनने चाहिए. It's a manual or a custom. Manual में क्या होता है? That you can go ahead and first let me explain it to you here. Nice. What is a VMSS? I mean, why do you need VMSS? What is VMSS? We will look there. Let's say you have a machine here. This is your VM. VM 001, 4 GB, 2 core CPU. Okay, that should be enough. And here you are holding your website, Flipkart. Ignore the spelling mistakes, guys, if there are any. Flipkart. Okay. Now, normally, this machine handles 10,000 users per day, which is sufficient, good enough. I have been getting good performance experience. All users are being catered properly. They are able to use the website. Everything is running fine. But upcoming days, big billion day sale is coming. I'm sure all of you know. On that particular day, I know कि ये जो है these machines which we are discussing, this single machine, यहाँ पर 10,000 लोग आ रहे हैं, बिग बिलियन के डे के दिन 10 लाख लोग आने वाले हैं. So do you think this machine is sufficient enough to handle 10 lakh requests? Now
No.
this machine is catering 10,000 requests. उसमें भी 80% CPU use हो जाता है, 80% RAMs use हो जाता है. And now I am forecasting that 10 lakh people will hit my website when it comes to big billion day. So do you think the same machine will survive?
No.
Right? You will require new machines. So how it used to happen in on premises में तो बहुत ही एकदम लंबा चौड़ा process है. Possible ही नहीं है कि इतने सारे machines आप advance में ला के रखो. I mean, so we are not discussing that. In cloud, what option do you have? One thing कि let's say आपका जो sale है big billion day का 10 तारीख को आने वाला है. So 9th को आप जो है इस machine के बहुत सारी copies बनाकर रख लो 9th को ही. This is one method that if I have one machine now, so मैं 9th को ही जो है एक और 50 मशीन बनाकर सिमिलर एकदम सिमिलर बाकी उनका सिंक वगैरह डेटा सब कुछ करके और इसके सामने में लोड बैलेंसर लगा देता हूँ इस तरह का. ठीक है, दैट इज वन ऑप्शन. द अनदर ऑप्शन इज मैं इसको वर्चुअल मशीन स्केल सेट में बनाता हूँ. इफ आई डू इट इन वर्चुअल मशीन स्केल सेट, व्हाट विल हैपन, आई विल गेट एन ऑप्शन कि तब मैं जाके सिर्फ उसको इंक्रीज कर दूंगा. विल सी दिस एवरीथिंग इन प्रैक्टिकल. उसको मैं जाके इंस्टेंस के काउंट को इंक्रीज कर दूंगा और एक एक मशीन बढ़ती जाएगी. This is one method. One more method is there. I can custom the scaling. Okay. Now custom initial instance count. What does it say? The number of virtual machine in the scale set कितने होने चाहिए? Initial मतलब the moment I'm creating this कितने होने चाहिए? I'm saying 2. In the minimum number of instance बनने के बाद थोड़ी देर के बाद कितने होने चाहिए? So I'm saying कि ठीक है initially 2 बना लो और half an hour तक अगर ये जो नीचे जो criteria अभी हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं ना, ये अगर नहीं होते हैं तो उसको आप चेंज करके 1 कर देना. So this is the minimum instance. मैक्सिमम कितने होने चाहिए? ऐसे नहीं है कि मशीन बढ़ता ही जा रहा है, बनता ही जा रहा है और आप 100-200 मशीन बना रहे हो. दैट शुड नॉट हैपन. सो देयर हैज टू बी अ कैप. द टोटल मैक्सिमम कितने होने चाहिए? सो आई एम चेंजिंग दैट टू 10 और लेट्स से 6. और मिनिमम भी आई एम सेइंग कि चलो 2 तो हमेशा रहने ही चाहिए. ओके. नाउ व्हाट इज द बेंचमार्क? सो इफ माय मशीन CPU, if that crosses for 75%, now where do you see all this information? Where can you see the CPU uses, guys?
Task manager under performance
Task
tab.
manager here. So now if you see my machine, इसका memory जो है 89% up हो गया है और CPU 23%. So I'm saying if the CPU goes 75% and above, then कितने machines बढ़ जानी चाहिए? I'm saying one machine should be increased. But क्या होता है ना, now if you look at this, see कितना frequently change हो रहा है. Can you see 25, 17, 14 और suddenly एक दो मैं क्लिक यहाँ वहां करूंगा 23. Can you see 32? So do you think this is a sensible decision कि इतने fraction of seconds में मेरा CPU change हो रहा है, उसी पे मैं कोई threshold बना दूं? उतनी देर में तो मशीन भी नहीं बनेगी. Azure पे एक नई मशीन बनने के लिए at least you require 4 to 5 minutes, right? So what am I saying
Yeah.
here? That if my CPU crosses 75% of a threshold and that stays to 75 for 10 minutes, then the number of instances should increase by 1. I started with 2, so I currently have 2. So one more machine will get deployed for the same application. Is it clear, guys, till here?
Yeah.
Anyone who did not understand anything, please let me know. Amit, Akib, Yogesh bhai, Sanmitra.
Yeah, understood, sir.
So the condition over here एक ही होगा. This is CPU threshold. Right? We cannot switch it to memory or something.
We can. उसको हम डिटेल में देखते हैं. Understand the logic first. इसको हम आगे जाके you can have detail metrics लगा सकते हो. बहुत ज़्यादा detail में metrics लगा सकते हो.
Okay.
And this is, we are not talking about the load balancer, okay? We are talking about the virtual machine scale set. Forget the load balancer, मैंने सिर्फ एक introduction दिया. Now forget that topic as of now. We are understanding, see, availability zone and availability set, load balancer, and virtual machine scale set. These are 3 different topics. Learn them in isolation, but apply them in, if you keep them in isolation, those are useless. Apply them in a combination, then you can create a design or architect something, or you can utilize it. सिर्फ अवेलेबिलिटी जोन और अवेलेबिलिटी सेट किसी काम का नहीं है. सिर्फ वर्चुअल मशीन स्केल सेट किसी काम का नहीं है. आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू व्हाई. एंड सिर्फ लोड बैलेंसर अपने आप में किसी काम का नहीं है. सो आर यू गाइस क्लियर टिल हियर? इज गुड क्वेश्चन. यू कैन चेंज द थ्रेशोल्ड्स एंड मैट्रिक्स. इंस्टेड ऑफ सीपीयू यू कैन ब्रिंग द रैम. वो सब हम कर सकते हैं. विल सी वेयर टू डू दैट. एनी क्वेश्चन अदर देन दिस?
No.
Okay. Now it goes to 75. One machine increases. कुछ देर चलता है, फिर से वो 75 पे जाता है. 1 मशीन इंक्रीजेस. टोटल चल के 6 मशीन्स हो गए. ठीक है. 2 घंटे तक 6 मशीन चलते रहे. आई एम पेइंग बिल फॉर 6 मशीन्स नाउ, बट आई एम अर्निंग बिजनेस आल्सो. दैट्स फाइन. बट शाम के 6 बजे के बाद ट्रैफिक थोड़ा कम होने लग गया. अब वो 6 मशीन कब तक चलते रहेंगे? शुड आई लीव देम एज इट इज? अननेसेसरी पे फॉर 6 मशीन्स? आई एम बैक टू नॉर्मल नाउ. देन व्हाट? सो स्केल इन का भी एक ऑप्शन होना चाहिए. ओके. नाउ दिस इज द स्केल इन. स्केल इन में क्या होता है? दैट द सीपीयू थ्रेशोल्ड, आई एम सेइंग दैट सीपीयू थ्रेशोल्ड अगर 25% से नीचे जाता है, और यहाँ पर ड्यूरेशन नहीं, बट नॉर्मली इट इज कंसिडर 10 मिनट्स, इसी तरह से कंसिडर किया जाता है. इन स्टेज फॉर दैट, तो एक एक से नंबर जो है कम होना चाहिए. Did you guys get this statement?
Yeah, understood.
Right, because if it is increasing, you do not want to keep it that way. Otherwise, you'll be paying unnecessary for those machines. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
Clear.
Scale-in policy, we'll discuss this later. Okay. Now I will keep it to manual and I will create the machine. So I can show it to you कि manual में बनने के बाद वो आप ये कैसे करते हो, इंक्रीज कैसे करते हो, और इसमें ऑटो में तो हम रख के देखेंगे आगे कि काफी प्रैक्टिकल में हम लोगों को ऑटो रखना है. This is about to finish, guys. We'll rejoin the session at 16:45 using the same link. Because it will take some time for this machine to get created. Okay. So same link, 16:45. Meanwhile, this will get created.